How long have you been coaching in general?
30. This will be probably my 33rd year.
33rd year.
Yeah.
Where's your favorite place to coach overall?
Wherever I'm at now. So right here.
Perfect. That's the best answer you could have gave.
I mean, that's it's the only answer you can get.
Obviously. What's one of the major things that you've implemented here to help the program?
Well, we're trying to be more accountable. I mean, there's certain things we have to do to try to raise the bar, raise the standard, and just being able to rely on somebody and depend on somebody, and a kid being where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there, and then doing what he's supposed to do when he gets there. I mean, that's what we're trying to get to where we can do that. And then, until we get there, then we're not going to be able to be as successful as we want to be until we can until the kids are holding each other accountable and they're, where they need to be all the time.
Sorry, I forgot to plug this in. But it should have been catching all
Do you need
that.
to
But
start
that's
over?
huh?
Do you need
No, we're good. But no, that's a great answer. But
I forgot to plug that thing in. What's one of the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome with teaching here, or not teaching, but coaching in general? Just
In coaching or teaching?
coaching first. And
All
then
right, coaching, not many. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen most everything that can come my way, and I'm already ahead of the curve, so to speak, on any type of obstacles as far as football goes. I think we're probably a little ahead of schedule. I feel real good about where we're at. This is our first week of practice, but we're way ahead of where most teams probably are right now. I mean, we had a great spring, had a good summer. It wasn't as good as we wanted, but it was definitely, we're moving the bar in the right direction. And I think we're ahead of schedule right now. We've got Cleveland that we're going to scrimmage next week. And so we'll kind of know where we're at. Cleveland beat us last year, and it'll be a good measuring stick to see, if we've progressed any from last year.
If you had to pick one thing that you could just snap your fingers and change and make this program the perfect way that you could make it, what would you do?
I think that's impossible.
Impossible. I know it's impossible.
Because this is it. We've never arrived.
Right.
No matter how good we get, we can always get a little better. And there is no, all right, we've done it. I mean, because it never stops. It never stops. And after 33 years, I've been real lucky, and I've been to 9 6A state championship games, and I've got several rings. But yet, I'm still going.
You want more.
We want more.
That's
It's not that we want more, it's just we're not done. We're just not done yet, and we're not done until we're done. So, I don't know. I mean, there's always the next hurdle. There's, like you said earlier, what hurdles? There's always something coming. It's not going to stop. No matter how good we get, it won't stop. We want to be better than wherever we move the needle. We want to move the needle even higher the next time. So, I mean, and that's kind of what makes, I guess, some people successful is they're not satisfied. And it's kind of hard on relationships a little bit because, my spouse hears me and I'm just, in athletics per se and just in everyday life, just not satisfied, always trying to do better, continually trying to strive to do better.
Good trait to have.
I'm cursed.
Cursed with trying to be the best.
I would be completely happy if I could just relax and go, okay, we're done, But I just that drive to keep going and keep going.
I'm very glad to hear that.
And trying to do better. I mean, it's just, and it can wear a guy out.
Yep. Only wears you out if you really, really starting to fall off and you're like, oh man, this isn't going well.
Yeah,
I think I should quit. But then you're like, what if everybody else hasn't quit? Everybody else has quit here. What if we don't?
Right.
And
We just, fortunately, I just, had great people around me, and we've got great coaches, and we're getting better. They're getting better. I'm getting better, and they, they're moving the needle. I mean, our coaches are helping tremendously. We've got great coaches.
did you bring sorry, one more. Did you bring any coaches, like previous experience with
Well,
these coaches before?
You know, there were mainly, you know, we hired several coaches, but there were two that I really got to kind of hand pick, and it was Coach Henderson from Catoosa, and he's our defensive coordinator.
I'm interviewing him after.
And he, I mean, it's when you get beat by a team by close to 50 points, and that guy leaves that team to come to your team, that says, well, you know, we ought to feel we are very fortunate to get him to come over here. And then another good friend of mine that I've known for a long time is Coach Frederick, and he coached with me at Union for a long time, and he was also our strength coach at Union for a long time. And you know, if it wasn't for those two guys, I might not have, you know, said, yeah, I'll come. But I know that because we're only ultimately as good as the people we surround ourselves with. I mean, that's just life in general. And I knew that, you know, with those two guys in place, that we had a chance to really be better. Because this is not a one-man show. This is not, hey, he's the head coach and he's getting it all done. No. Trust me, it's a lot of coaches that are helping out. And a lot of those coaches, to be honest, are the main reasons why we're going to move the bar. We've got great assistant coaches.
Team sport. Everybody's got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Very glad to hear that you guys are implementing like the right physicalness, like the actual working out program in it.
Well, we're trying. I mean, we're trying. I mean, we have to catch up physically. I mean, that's one thing where we're behind. You can tell physically we're a little behind. And if we can close that gap, it'll make all the difference, you know, because, you know, just, you know, baseball, football, basketball, track, softball, all that. I mean, physically we've got to get better, you know. And our philosophy is, you know, make better players, not better plays, you know, because the players are going to win the games. And it's not necessarily what play we're running, it's the players.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, I'm good with that if you're good with that.
I'm great.
That was best one ever.
All right.
How do you feel the season is going to happen? Like, how do you feel it's going to roll over?
Well, I think we're gonna do pretty good, honestly. I mean, we've been practicing hard, and you practice how you play, so I guess that we're gonna do pretty good from what I've seen.
What you've seen. What's your favorite part about having all the new coaches in it?
Probably just the new game plan.
New game plan?
Yeah, I get to read a lot better. We have a lot of new route concepts. It's just gonna be a lot better than what we did before.
How do you feel about the new athletic training that's been getting involved?
Ooh, it's tough, but it's been getting a lot of us stronger, and the more that we work, the stronger we'll get and the better we'll get. So we'll see.
See. One more to end us off. If you had to say who your favorite new coach is, who is it?
Probably Coach Pearson.
Coach Pearson?
Just because he's taught me a lot from the time that he's been here, and I think I'm going to learn a lot more from him.
Solid. Great interview.
All right.
Alright. So what is one thing that is you've seen here that you could snap your fingers and change automatically? What would it be? You could change like one thing that's just like impossible to change, but you need to change it.
Yeah, I'd like to have every kid in a strength class. Yeah.
Even if they're not in athletics?
Well, just the athletes, I would like them to have a strength class. So the reason that's tough is because of credits. Right?
Yeah, because you gotta get a certain amount.
Kids that go to Tech, or kids that are at TCC, or maybe, you know, they're a freshman or sophomore and they need to get a second language class done, so they have the opportunity to go to TCC or be concurrent as a junior, senior. That's kind of inhibited some of the kids from taking a strength class, but it sure would be nice to have all those kids done by the time they got to the athletic period. So if I could snap my fingers and change it, that's one thing I would
That'd
change.
be just have less credits and stuff.
Yeah.
What is something that you've seen here that you haven't seen at any other school that you've had to work past?
Oh man, there's nothing. You know, I'll answer that with I've been pleasantly pleased with the quality of kid that we have here. So we've got great kids here. They work really hard. We're a little bit behind athletically because we haven't had everybody in the weight room and developed athletes from the, right now we've got some junior high kids in strength class. We're working with them in off season. And they've been in the weight room a little bit, but there hasn't been a good program, a consistent program. And anything you do, consistency or frequency, the more often you can do it, the more you're going to get out of it, right? And so I think you'll see the guys and the girls that have been a part of the summer program, we're going to see a change because they've worked extremely hard and they're great kids. But you're going to see a big change here in the next year or 2 years after kids have got some training years underneath them and they've been consistent through an entire year or 2 years of training.
It's about the years after, not this current.
Yeah.
Still this current one, and you got to try your best,
Yeah,
but still you got to have time to be able to make
it's
progress.
just like anything. You don't just start out in AP classes.
Right.
You learn the basics and then you keep progressing and then it's a ladder that you climb. So, but man, there's nothing different here than anywhere else. We've got great facilities here. We've got great kids. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. So I don't think there's anything different rather than on that side of it.
Where did you have experience before this?
As a strength coach, I coached at Union for a decade. I think up until 2021, summer of 2021. Prior to that, I was a head football coach at Craig and powerlifting coach and track coach at Craig High School. And then before that, I was a football and track coach at Union High School. And then early on in my career, I coached football at Stillwater. And then my first job, while I was still in college, was at Craig. This was where I grew up. So been to a few different schools, and but the majority of my career was spent at Union. So.
Did you study anywhere, like physical education or
Yeah,
anything?
so I played college football at East Central for a little bit, and then I got into coaching. Spent some time at a junior college, and then the majority of my college came from Oklahoma State, and so I've got a health and physical education degree. I've got a master's in education administration, and then I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. So that's the certification that I have to be a strength coach. There's kind of two big certifications if you're wanting to be a strength coach that you look at. One of those is the Collegiate Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association. They have a certification, and then the other one is the NSCA, and that's the National Strength and Conditioning Association.
I think I'm getting my personal training.
Yeah, they got a CPT,
Yeah, that's
Certified Personal Trainer.
Right.
And so that's a quality certification. There's a lot of other ones out there.
I'm just making my way through right now.
But if I was going to send my own kid somewhere, I would want them to be either NSCA certified or CSCCA certified, the Collegiate Strength and Conditioning Coaches Association. So,
I'm trying to think. Oh, there's one that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So if you could do 10 exercises for the rest of your life,
Yep.
period, what
Yep.
are they?
The number one exercise that I would do, if I could only choose one in the weight room, would be a trap bar deadlift. Okay, and use the trap bar.
We were so close to being friends.
So it's just so when we talk about human movement, what do we have? Let's talk about being a parent. When you're a first parent, what are you always doing with your kid? You're picking them up off the ground. Right? You're always having to pick things up and setting things down. So trap bar deadlift is very functional. For an athlete, it's about applying force to the ground. So on a trap bar deadlift, you're in an athletic stance and you're applying force to the ground. And whether it's on 1 foot or 2 feet, that's what we do in all of our sports. Every athletic program that we have, that's the most functional lift that we can do for them. And then we do variations of the trap bar deadlift as well. We'll do trap bar jumps, which is more of explosive movement. We'll do a trap bar clean pull, which is what Gabe did today. And those are training triple extension. So hip, knee, and ankle extension. So you're in flexion in a stance, and then when you jump, your hip, knee, and ankle extend, and that's what you're training with the trap bar. And so you can load that. I think it's squat's a great exercise. I think everybody needs to be able to squat. There's 7 primal movements of the human body. So you're asking what I'm training in the weight room. Okay, I do a trap bar deadlift, but the movement patterns I would train are a hip hinge, which is some type of deadlift or RDL. Romanian deadlift, which is where your main mover is your hip. You got to train your knee dominant movements, which is a squat. I don't know if I'd load people's back for the rest of their lives, on a squat, but
Bulgarian squat.
you need to do some type of knee dominant movement. Goblet squats, front squats, safety bar squats. Those are all great things, if you're working through some back problems, to continue to do. And then single leg variations of those, a rear foot over to split squats, lateral lunges or lateral squats, knee dominant movements. And then the upper body is pretty simple. I mean, you can push horizontally, you can push vertically, or you can pull vertically or pull horizontally. Like that's the movements, right? And so then, our posture, I'm sitting here with bad posture, we're driving a car, we're on the computer all day, we're sitting at a desk all day at school, whatever it is. We need to do some posterior shoulder work. So some type of pull apart, okay, or face pull that works the posterior shoulder, and it helps with a little bit of posture. But man, 10 things, I don't know. I mean, those are just some of the things, but there's one thing specific, and that will be a trap bar movement.
That's true.
Or a variation of a trap bar movement.
Right. No, I'm not saying it's not good for you. No,
You don't like it?
No, it's terrible. I hate all deadlifts.
It's a full body
It's an
movement.
awful thing.
Yeah.
But no, it is something that you need to do.
Yeah. You got to have
on
your
a regular
posture.
basis.
You're using your upper back. You're using your lower back. The entire leg. Knee. It's an in between movement of a regular deadlift and a squat.
I definitely like trap bar deadlift much more than a regular deadlift.
It's a little safer.
That's just because it's not like you're not going over and you're
Yeah.
rounding your back. You can't round your back as easily with that one.
I can usually take somebody that's never been in the weight room, and in 5-10 minutes we can be trap bar deadlift.
Right.
You know what I mean? With the straight bar deadlift, obviously it's a little more complicated. It's closer to the center of gravity, a little safer for the back, but it's a great movement. That's the one I would choose.
The one.
Yeah.
One just to make the perfect athlete.
Yep.
Trap bar deadlift.
Yep.
All right. I had like notes for this, and I wrote out notes, and then the girl wasn't in class that had the notes, so I'm just
That's all right.
completely blank here. So you've been places before this. Where have you gained the most experience personally?
Good question. One, just by doing it. One of my good friends' name's Russell Dennison. He was a strength coach at Union prior to me, and I took over for him. And while I was there, I helped him quite a bit with some of the groups, and gained a lot of knowledge from him. And then, application-wise, just getting in the room and finding out what works and what doesn't. But there's a lot of guys that I follow. I mean, Twitter, or what's it called now? It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Yeah. I follow some guys that are pretty solid strength coaches that work with a lot of athletes. Dr. John Rusin, or Rusin, whatever you want to say his last name, is a guy that I follow, that I steal a lot of things from. That I read his stuff that he puts out. But I'd have to say Russell kind of helped me get going. Russell Dennison would probably be my biggest mentor in the strength conditioning world. And then I had some college strength conditioning coaches that obviously had an impact on me as well. Russell was probably the biggest impact. And he was the strength coach at Union. He went on to be an assistant at OU, and he was the head guy at Wyoming for a while. Spent some time at A&M, Colorado Springs, at Air Force, and so he's been around the gamut.
When did you start training? Like
As an athlete?
As
Yeah.
an athlete, or
Yeah.
just picking up weight to get bigger?
Yeah, first time I ever walked in a weight room and really lifted a weight was when I was a freshman. I was a decent athlete, but I walked in the weight room and there were some juniors and seniors in there, and we didn't really have a weight room culture at that time, but they were quite a bit stronger than me. It's pretty embarrassing. I could barely squat 135 pounds, and I could barely bench 95 pounds as a freshman, which wasn't very good. And it was embarrassing, but I went to work, and through the years, I was a state medalist in powerlifting when I was a senior in high school, and got to be pretty strong. The weight room is one of the reasons I got to go play college sports. And if I would not have been in the weight room, I would not have gotten to go.
Helps exponentially.
Yeah, so that's my first experience with training was just a high school coach, being a high school football player and athlete. And then in college, obviously, that continued.
What were your maxes? What were
Best ones
Best ones
that I've ever done.
that you've ever done. Well, I know,
Okay.
know you don't like train for the max anymore.
So,
but like
so the strongest I ever been in was probably 2015 as a strength coach, and I was doing a lot of Olympic lifting, training pretty hard. And I could clean and jerk, which is from the floor to shoulder, and then shoulder to overhead. I could clean and jerk 335 pounds. That's probably the best number that I've got. And I could snatch 235, so straight from the floor to overhead, 235. During that time, I could squat 460, and I could deadlift about 585 pounds with a trap bar. A straight bar, I'm not really sure, probably about 525, 530. And then the most I've ever benched was 310. Never
310.
could get 3 plates. Dang. No, never could get there.
Never got
I
there.
know, yeah.
Dude,
Never
I'm
could do it.
close there, but
Those are some numbers.
those are some numbers.
The numbers that I want our athletes, obviously, strength is important, and I love, we want to create strong athletes. But the numbers that I want to pay attention to most here are our field numbers. Like, how does that apply to our sport? So, if a guy can squat 500 pounds, I want him to be able to jump. And I think that's the bridge to the field from the weight room. Like, you're doing plyometrics and our field work and our speed work that we do. I want our field numbers to be good. I want your, we test 20s, and so I want your 20 time to be fast. I want your change of direction time to be fast, and I want your vertical to be high. Strength numbers are great, and they help with those, right? But that's the reason we're doing it.
That's the actual
Yeah.
speed work.
I want a guy that can jump high, change directions, and run fast.
Glad the boxes are actually getting used.
Yes, exactly. So,
Well, dude,
anything else?
I think this is it.
All right.
You were a great interviewee. I hope the microphone picked all of it up. But
All right,
if it
man.
didn't, I'm gonna cry. So
I'll try my best.
try your best. That's all I ask for. How do you feel the season's gonna go?
I think
Your
it's gonna be a
expectations?
lot better than last year.
A lot better than last
We've been
year.
putting a lot more.
Who do you feel is attributing the most to the new program,
Coach wise, or
coach-wise?
I think every coach plays a key role in it, so I think it takes all of them. I don't think it's just one.
Who's your favorite?
I can't specify. I can't specify.
Frederick.
Gotta
Anywho.
gotta keep that playing time. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously. How do you feel that the overall system has changed since last year?
I like it. I like it a lot. I like that our coach actually wants to win. I like that we're actually putting work in, and most importantly, our coach is an honest and respectful guy. All of them are. So.
Perfect. That's it.
All right.
All right, should be going.
Okay.
Dude, if you could improve one thing, just snap your fingers like that, what would be about the team?
If I could snap my fingers and improve one thing, oh goodness. I can't think of just one certain thing. I mean, we're just getting started, so we're impressed with. Okay, if I could have improved one thing, it would have been more involvement in the summer workouts. We had 20 guys that made full commitment. They came and made every day in the weight room. But if we could have more attendance in the summer, it'll help getting bigger, faster, and stronger, getting ready for the season, for the grind.
Frederick said he could just snap his fingers and put every athlete in the weight training class.
That would be perfect world because he's that would be perfect for him. Yes. 'Cause right now he's having to coach from 6:30 to 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
So
Put a lot of effort into it.
yeah.
If you could, what's one thing that you've seen at other schools that you're going to bring here to make it better?
One thing I bring is hard work. I coach them hard and I love them harder. So yes, I can be intense at times, but I'm gonna love on them too. So bring them back up.
Yeah, just tell me a little bit about your experience in other places. Were you only at Tusa or?
No, so I started coaching when I was in college, just lay coaching, and then I was at Fort Gibson. I was there for 3 years. Then I got married and started coaching at Inola. Graduated, and then we went out west to Fairfax, just down the road. We were out west for 2 years, and then we had kids back closer to home. Coached 6 at Foyle, 6 at Claremore, and the last 2 I was at Tucson. Here I am.
All right, one final one. If
Okay.
you could have one exercise that you do for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One exercise.
One exercise, or your favorite one that you feel like improves an athlete to the best of its ability.
One exercise. We rely so much on the legs. It's got to be the squat.
Squat.
Yeah. What was Coach Fred's?
He said trap bar deadlift.
Okay.
He was just like, it's full body workout.
True.
Personally, I think power clean, because if I'm gonna
Explosion. Yep.
train one thing for the rest of my life, I
Yep.
gotta be able to just get my full body into it. But one more.
Okay.
What do you think the record's gonna be? I know we're hoping, praying for 10 or whatever the state one is, but if we win all,
Those seasons are miracles. Like I said, being from Woodland, we went 10-0 that one year. My second year, those are blessed seasons. What I'm going a week at a time. I want to beat Glencoe. That's where I graduated from, so it's a little extra for me. Hometown coming to play us at home, so I want to go a week at a time. I want to be 1-0, starting week to week. So.
Perfect. That was
Appreciate
great.
it.
How do you guys feel the season's going to go over?
Honestly, I think we'll at least have a winning record.
Have a winning record?
Yeah. I think we'll make first round playoffs, and I don't think we'll make it farther than the first round, but I think we'll make it there.
You hope and pray for it, though.
Yeah.
We are a lot better
Well,
than
you-
last year.
Same thing?
Yeah, we're like a lot better.
What do you guys think about the new coaches?
Love them.
Love them?
They're so
What's your
good.
favorite part about them?
They don't. Favorite part is
They know what we need.
they don't tell us we're doing good when we're doing terrible. They'll tell us, hey, you're terrible.
They give it to us straight.
Yeah. They're not sugarcoating it. And like whenever Coach P first got here, he told us we're gonna need a lot of work or we're gonna lose every game.
Yep.
If you guys had to say who your favorite coach is of the new ones, who is it?
That's hard. That's
Mine's
a hard.
Sutton.
It's a hard. What?
Mine's
gonna
Coach
go-
Sutton.
Sutton.
I know it's gonna sound biased because he's a new head coach, but I'm gonna have to go Coach P because he's also my coach, like
Coach
my
P.
running back coach.
Kevin said the same thing.
Yeah.
He was just like, he taught me a lot.
Or Coach Hendy, Coach
Sure, like that.
Coach
Yeah.
H.
I like Sutton too.
I talked to him, and it'll be before this clip, but he was cool, Coach Henderson.
I love Coach Henderson.
Dope. One more. How do you guys feel about the new training style?
I think it's great. I think it's better than not working out, better than not conditioning like we did.
It's better than
last
not
year.
doing 4 workouts, like 4 different workout groups. So like instead of just doing bench press, squat, deadlift, and clean, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So now you're doing like incline bench, you're doing a bunch of
And we have a lot
band
of
work,
Yeah,
and
we
a
have
bunch of
auxiliaries.
stretches. Like we have a bunch of auxiliaries, yeah. So it's a lot better. Instead of just doing conventional deadlift, we're also doing trap bar.
Yeah, Frederick went on for like a solid 5 minutes, and you'll see it like earlier in this one, but he went on for a solid 5 minutes about how
He's
much
so-
he loves trap bar deadlift. And the
I like
first
it
thing,
too.
He's so
first thing he
passionate
said
about
whenever I was interviewing him, and he was like, probably trap bar deadlift, and I was like, oh, we were so close to being friends.
He likes trap bar because it's
It's good for you.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
safer.
not like it's bad for you, but
Yeah.
it is the perfect. If I'm gonna do a deadlift again, that's what we're
Are you and Coach Fowler slash right now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so is this what you're doing for the school?
The whole thing.
You're doing the whole
This is
thing?
this is my whole year.
This is your job?
This is my job. That's my grade.
What, to interview all of us?
Anybody.
I should.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna
man.
do like with the start of each season. I'm gonna do the start of, and whenever we end, I'll interview the same people over again. And like, hey, what can we do better?
Is it
What
going to be
can-
me, Kevin, and Aiden soon?
on mine?
Yeah.
My personal? Yeah.
All right. That's what I was saying.
That'll get it. Thank you guys. Any last remarks about how the season's gonna go?
If we had Xander Purdue, we would win another game.
I wish Aiden Gould wasn't hurt.
Yeah.
Because if he wasn't hurt, that'd help a bunch.
And then
Because
nobody's-
it'll give rest time for Biggs. Because he's playing both ways.
Yeah.
I'm about to get him down here. So.
Biggs.
And Gabe, hopefully, if he isn't back to class. Cool.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
All right. If you could snap your fingers and change one thing about the program, one thing about this athletic program, what would it be? Because it has to be one of those impossible things that's just like can't probably happen. But if you could make it happen, make it happen.
Not impossible thing,
No,
right?
impossible, but like you just snap your fingers and it happens like easy.
Mindset.
Mindset.
It's a big issue. Big issue in our program. So I'd say, obviously graduated here, 16. Okay. Mindset was we were the baddest guys out there, and we took everything serious. We put in the extra time. Didn't care about our bodies. We laid it out for each other. Brotherhood was a big thing, and it was a together mindset. It wasn't just one mindset. It was all together. We were all included. So yeah, I'd say mindset. If I could snap my finger and I'd change the mindset.
That's one of the things you can improve over time, but that's something you can't ever like have it fully because one of the kids are eventually going to break, and then the other one might, and then the other one might. But if you can build up enough confidence on Pearson's was, or he said something about like being able to trust the guys out there with you is a big part of it. And last year we didn't have that very much. And
no, I think it was. I don't want to come off as a bad thing, but I mean, selfish. You got to be selfless and trust the guys that you're going into battle with. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but you're not going to be the one to point a finger and say, "Hey, do this right, do that right." When you could be the one to blame.
Do it right.
And we all got to do it right. Yeah, exactly right. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
What is one thing that you've seen change since the new staff's got? Because you were one of the guys that stayed.
Yeah.
And you've had the year of experience with the other guy. What is one thing that's changed significantly?
One thing that has changed, like I said, mindset right now. Now, when test time comes, when Friday night comes, it might be different. We don't know. But right now, the practice mindset, I think everybody is working together. I think there's a brotherhood shaping back together. I'd say the mindset's it's getting back to where it needs to be. When I graduated from here, and then from 17, 18, and 19, when they were good then, I think it's the mindset. And the mindset's kind of changing back to form where it should be. But when test time comes, when Friday comes, is it going to stay that same way? From week 0 to week, hopefully, 13, 14. We're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or, is that right? 13, 14. Should be.
15's the last one.
Right, yeah.
15. Yeah. So if you're going to make the perfect athlete, but the kid can only do one exercise.
If I'm going to make the perfect athlete.
Or, like, what exercise would you feel like contributes to athleticism the most? Would be a better way to explain it.
Exercise, are we talking strength training?
We're talking any sort of physical movement. With weights.
With weights.
With weights.
So,
not like plyos and stuff.
Not plyos, linear
Plyos
mechanics.
would be probably one of the biggest ones.
Excuse me. I think. So specific lift.
Decently, yeah.
Okay. Squats. Front squat. To be specific. Squat. Learning how to fire the bar up. Move with your legs. I could say a lot. Power clean. Power clean can help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, full body movement.
Yeah.
Any dynamic lift.
Frederick said trap bar deadlift.
Okay.
because he
Yeah.
could build explosive movement off of that. And then Henderson, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Henderson, he said squat.
Mhm.
And just like squat for the lower body movement. I
Yeah.
mean, we really don't like. If you think about it, we don't need as much upper body strength as much, but you still need it. But like, just get 5 seconds.
Anyway, for as far as movement, I think any dynamic lift, we've been fortunate enough to have Coach Frederick in the weight room, showing them all these things that you would never think of 10, 20 years ago. So we're very fortunate to have him, showing them a lot of different moves, and I've seen a lot of improvement out of the athletes. And he's not just thinking for himself, hey, I gotta build these guys. He's actually thinking about them, taking it easy on their bodies when it needs to be, when they're in season or off season. And yeah, he's doing a good job.
I talked to him a lot, and I kind of just like got lost, and it wasn't like an interview. It was just like, man, I like talking to this guy,
Yeah.
because he was like on that level of like,
Yeah.
I could ask you a question and you could probably give me an answer.
Yeah,
But
no, he's that guy.
he's pretty good from what I've seen so far. But what do you think? How do you think the season's gonna go? I know hold on. Let me base this by like the dream is the 14.
Yes.
Or, yeah, going all 14. But realistically, if you were to place a bet in,
Bets.
Bets.
Legal.
I'm not allowed
If
to.
I had to, take a gander, not a bet, I would say we could make it to the playoffs. I think we could make it to the playoffs this year. Now, we got to take it 1 week at a time.
Mhm.
1 week at a time. So, I mean, yeah, we have a scrimmage against Cleveland. We go to BK and scrimmage Bristow and BK and all them over there. But week 1, Glenpool, we got to happen. And then that's when we move on. We take it one week at a time. I think that's very important. You can't look forward. You just got to take it one step at a time.
Perfect answer. Henderson said the same thing.
Good
He's
deal.
like, I'm
Good
focused
deal.
on Glenpool. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. I didn't want to ask Pearson and Frederick that. 'Cause-
Yeah.
But I'll end you off with one more. What has been your favorite part about just being part of this program so far?
I think it's the togetherness experience. I think with obviously this new coaching staff, we're all learning about each other, and we are very fortunate enough to spend times with the seniors and tell them, our why. Like being from here, graduating 16, 17, class of 17, tell them like what it means to be a Bulldog, and being able to share that with the seniors, and hopefully they'll be able to share with the other underclassmen. Just building that brotherhood bond back up. I think it's been the greatest. Yeah.
Perfect. That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Did great.
Woo!
I'm next, huh?
You're next. Saving you for last. Best for last. Soul Biggs. How do you feel the season's gonna go? What are your expectations for it?
My expectations they're high. We're putting in a lot more work than we did last year and years before, and I expect to win the season.
How do you feel about the new coaches? What are you liking about them?
They care a lot, and they put in a lot of work, and they made this their life for the next however long football season is, and it's very, very helpful.
Very helpful. How do you feel about the new strength and conditioning?
I think
I think it's a good program, and we definitely needed it because it gets, it leaves no other coach, for instance, with the opinion on who should work out and who shouldn't. Every athlete has to work out now, and it's a great thing for the athletic program.
Nice. I'll leave you with one more. If you had to say one goal you have for this season, what is it? Just overall, could be knocking a helmet off, could be stripping a ball, could be, I don't know, making a touchdown play and then dropping in the end zone. Yeah. But
I'd have to say beating Catoosa.
beating Catoosa. That one's got bad blood for you, or what?
Yeah, very. Got a lot of rivals there, and our new defensive coordinator, Coach Henderson, he was Catoosa's defensive coordinator last year, so it's going to be a real interesting and exciting game. Can't wait.
Perfect. Appreciate it a lot. How do you feel the season's going to go as the athletic trainer?
I'm actually really excited for the season. We've hired a new strength and conditioning coach who's actually putting the guys through lots of new workouts, so I think they're going to be a lot stronger, a lot more flexible, a lot more durable through the season. And I think it's really going to give us a good advantage over a lot of our opponents.
Have you had any serious injuries so far that have come out of lifting that people have just not adapted to the lifting program yet?
Not necessarily. Having a few bumps and bruises here and there, some sore muscles, maybe some kids aren't quite used to feeling, but then just after talking a little bit and kind of breaking down what it is and just doing some information type stuff, we can just determine that, yeah, we just need to stretch a little more. We need to get used to what we're doing. It's just all new.
Okay, one last one. As the athletic trainer, what is the most serious injury that you can say that clears out most of the kids?
I would say broken bones for sure.
bone.
Just any type of broken bone. I mean, it's one of those things where it happens. It can happen in sport. It can happen at home. It can happen all over the place. But it's a scary deal, right? Especially in football, like if you take a big hit and you break your collarbone, like it's gonna shy you away from football a little bit. But so.
I heard you have a new athletic trainer out there, a guy for once. How are you feeling about that?
It's good. It's awesome. His name's Bo Bennett. He's been doing a great job. It's nice to have somebody who can come into the locker room with me a little bit and kind of be a little more hands-on in that aspect. And he can also carry all the heavy stuff. So.
Perfect. All right, thank you so much for doing this. One last. If you had to say what you think our record's going to be, what are you thinking? What are you hoping for, and what are you thinking? Hoping for that state champion. Always going for that one, but.
I definitely think, at least the first three are very, very winnable ball games. So I'm excited for him to get off to a good start. Why not? 6 wins at least. Let's do it. Let's make the playoffs. Let's go for a run. Let's do something fun.
Absolutely. All right, perfect.
Woo!